Check. One. What's up, everybody? Okay, look at this. We have a very basic countdown. Counting down to when we start the show. This is a good opportunity. We're gonna... Oh, hold on 1 second. Here's what we're gonna do with this 3 minutes. We're in this 3 minutes together. Oh, we're running out of time already. I'm gonna press send on the text message. Oops. Not enough messages remaining for this campaign. Oh, great. Okay, well, I suppose first, good thing I gave myself 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and press publish on the social media post that's going out. Remember, you should have the newsletter in your inbox. If you're not receiving that newsletter in your inbox, I highly recommend you do for so many reasons. Don't worry, we just send out a newsletter before we start any of the shows here, just to let you know we're going live and give you the resources you crave. And that includes the call-in link. That's right. We're doing call-ins, baby. It's what we do here. We got to get the voices of the people on the show. And that's what we're going to do. So if you get that newsletter, you're going to get that call-in link directly into your inbox. Now, sorry, while I'm speaking to you right at this exact moment, I'm also hustling around trying to purchase another batch of text messages that we can send out, because it's really annoying that we've been running out of text messages, which is fine, which is actually good. That means a lot of people are getting the text messages. We're very happy for people who sign up. And if you're not signed up yet, you should go sign up now. All you got to do is take your phone out. You're probably already on your phone. Go to the text messages. Text the word canary. It must be canary. Text the word canary to 877-740-3226. That's 877-740-3226. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to do this at the same time, and now it's making me redo the text message. I'm in VR. I can't rewrite the text message. All right. Well, folks, thanks for being here. I guess we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this countdown one more time. I apologize, but we're just going to do it because we have to send out the text message. So, it's just going to take me a second to write this. I'm going to wait till this counter go. Okay, now, starting the counter over. Nobody panic. I'm here with you. We're in this together. And even more importantly, we're going to be feeding the ducks. Whenever we panic, whether the world is ending, whether we're trying to start a live podcast alone, and we don't have all of the art and video and assets that we need to truly put on a great production, but we're doing it anyways. There's always the ducks. Our little buddies. We make friends with those ducks. We're walking around, or we're around the park. Maybe we're not even in a park. We don't need government property, public quote-unquote property to go feed some ducks. We can feed whatever ducks we want. The ducks belong to God. The ducks do not belong to Joseph Robinette Biden. He is not the duck master. You are the duck master. Okay, it's hard to vamp about ducks and write this text message. So I'm going to do it real quick. Hold on. Just imagine yourself and the ducks. What does your duck look like? Your little buddy. You were out there. You were prepared. You brought some bread. You had some bread in your pocket. You fed this duck. You're like asking, what podcasts do the ducks like to listen to? We know ducks love podcasts. Which one does your duck listen to? Oh no, I forgot to loop it. Oh no, it's looping. We're going to be feeding the ducks forever. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Text message is almost done. Canary Cry News Talk is Basil's Bunker, Apocalypse, Dentistry, V4V forever. Bunkaroos? Should I put Bunkaroos in there? I should. I've got a few more characters left. Bunkaroos. Oh, I put it right in the middle. Oh, jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Okay, there we go. That's what the text message is going to be. You know, the text message is so fun. People love the text message. I love the text message. I love getting messages from people who receive the text messages because you can text me back at the text message. I cannot carry on a conversation with you because it's extremely expensive. And like you just saw, I have to renew these things once in a while. But 720 texted, got my supply drop, love, love, love it all. Heart emoji, sunglasses emoji. Let's see here. 92979 says, howdy fam, needing producers real hard. Things going on in my life right now. I know God's intervention is needed. Praise be God Almighty. Everybody, pray for 970 text. Okay, here we go, folks. Let's get this show started. Holy smokes. I swear I had a much smoother plan than this. Alright, I'm going to show you some ads, then we'll get going.
In a world where survival is paramount, and the wasteland throws its worst at you, only the strong can thrive. Introducing Emu Energy Drinks, with an apocalyptic powerhouse packed into every can, keeping you sharp, focused, and ready to tackle the wasteland with ease. An epic pick-me-up of haphazard chemicals, strong aftertaste, strange side effects, and unmatched rejuvenation. Emu Energy Drinks. Stay alert. Stay alive.
It's the bunker.
Basil's Bunker End Time Supply Subscription Service. Plan starting at just $17.76 a month. No hidden fees. Cancel anytime. 33-day money-back guarantee. Call now for a chance to win an attachable six-finger. Perfect for plausible deniability and AI generations and for your secret Nephilim handshakes. Call now. 1-877-740-3226. Basil's Bunker is solely operated by the Razzle Dazzle Ranch. CCR, CCNT, and the Shimura Estate are not responsible for any claims or guarantees. Call now.
Welcome to Basil's Bunker, where we have many amenities in the advent of coming societal collapse. Bohemian Grove generators powered by Chinese lithium cobalt batteries. Anti-air defense systems rivaling the IDF Iron Dome. Endless end times food ration buckets. And recreational activities like emu wrangling or Monty pet training.
Howdy doody, bunkaroos. Thanks for tuning in to Basil's Bunker. And Razzle Dazzle, I'm your best buddy Basil, and I'm very proud of you. That's the new thing. You know, you gotta have a different intro to the show. In the other show, I want to remind you, you're not crazy. You know what? I think it's nice. I think it's nice in this show that at least once a week, your best buddy lets you know just how proud he is of you. I'm very proud of all of you. Thank you very much. This is a funny kind of way to start here. There's been several people have sent messages to us specifically about Basil's Bunker from all over the world saying that there's advertisements playing before before the show on Apple Podcasts. And I go, oh no, this has actually happened before. If you're in Europe, there's a good chance that you're getting ads before every show because Apple Podcasts plays ads whenever they want. It's just part of whatever their weird laws are over there. And even though we're V for V, we have no control over that. We gain nothing from it. It's just the way it is over there in the Eurozone. But somebody in the USA said, I'm getting ads before the show. And I spent a lot of time, maybe too much time, trying to figure out how on earth or where on earth they've started adding ads to the show. And it just turns out I didn't know Gons was leaving the Basil's Bunkers ads into the audio version on Apple Podcasts. I think maybe we won't do that every time, especially because the ads, which are so hilariously crafted and so masterfully crafted by producers of the show, they're not actually real ads for anything. So it's strictly for entertainment purposes, and maybe if the ads actually led people to something that would benefit the show, it would make sense to leave it there. But no, we're not trying to turn our backs on the value for value model, of course. We are always value for value. Ooh, Leo, who is in the UK, says she doesn't get ads on Apple Podcasts in the UK. That's good to know. Well, Brexit. We got Brexit on Apple Podcasts. That's good to know. Okay. Oh, we got Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda on the X. Hashtag get to the bunker. We got to use that more often. Right off the top here, I want to thank some producers who came in and supported the show financially over at canarycry.support, because we do not have our very special own button, which I just got to do. I just have to make that button. If somebody could send me an email to remind me to make a PayPal button for Basil's Bunker, it gets erased from my mind until I start the show. So send an email to canarycryradio@gmail.com and say, Basil, make the Basil's Bunker button, please, and I will do it. But I want to give a big old shout out to producer Kenneth T. Yeah, came in a few days ago for Basil's Bunker, came in for, I didn't write it down, but $13 and something else cents. Thank you very much, Kenneth T. Also, Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman came in again and sent a little note. That's the thing. You got to send a note, send a little email or something until I get the button that tells me that your support is for Basil's Bunker. I just don't want people thinking that they're producing one show and then it get read on another show. That's not fun for people who are producing to hear their name and stuff on a certain show. So thank you to Kenneth, and thank you to Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman, and for the rest of you. Right now, you can go to canarycry.support and support anywhere there in whatever way you'd like, and send us a little note so I know it's for Basil's Bunker. I did in the email today mention that any more producership that comes in today after I send the email, I'm just going to assume that that's for this show. So I'll see if anything comes in. Not yet. Okay, so let's get this show started. Do you guys miss me? I kind of miss doing the show during the week. It's been a weird time. It's been a very strange time, of course, in my entire life, which I've been sharing sort of incessantly for quite some time. And I'm coming... Look, I've talked about my theory that the last 6 months have been absolutely unhinged for everybody, or at least the majority of the people. And it's these spiritual attacks on the individual. We're all, fighting these spiritual battles. We all have very complicated and vivid lives that we're living, and we're all having attacks on our spiritual and physical and financial well-being. But do not be mistaken. It is the small spiritual attacks, the spiritual battles of the individual that makes up the broader spiritual war. So the spiritual attacks in your life, the hardships, the nonsense, the lunacy, stuff in the past 6 months, I'm willing to bet that 80% of you out there, at least, that's being conservative, 80% of you out there, if you really look back at your last 6 months, you have had unfortunate things happening in your life that you would barely even know how to start explaining to somebody. They are so very specific to your life that it seems almost, it seems unprofitable to even try to explain to somebody the network of unfortunate events in your life. I started talking about this because I realized it in my life, and we've all heard about my sorrows, and they continue. They're still going, and the Lord is with me, and, the only answer in these situations is to draw as close to God as you possibly can. It's the only thing to do, especially with the madness that are the sort of specificity and uniqueness of each of our individual spiritual attacks. But it's all of us. I've talked about this in public. I've talked about it on the show. I have had individuals, multiple individuals that I have connected with in recent weeks where I don't even bring it up. They are bringing it up to me apropos of nothing. Just being like, yeah, the last 6 months, worst 6 months of my life. I couldn't even begin to tell you. It feels like there's demons chasing me around. I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, bro, I know exactly what's going on. This is what's going on. What's going on is that there is a broad spiritual war going on all humanity. And that spiritual war is not just, you know, broad social changes, broad cultural strife, global or worldwide, current events that are sort of representing this spiritual war going. It is each and every single one of you dealing with your own hyper specific, unfortunate events that make up that war. So just know that what's going on in your life is part of the broad narrative, the broad scale of the spiritual war is going on. And the only thing you can do is get into your Bible, start praying. I don't even care if you're not a believer and you're listening to me right now. That's fine. You're welcome here. But let me tell you, the only answer to what's going on, as I've talked with Donnie Discerned about, is to endure. You just got to endure. But here's the thing. We're not strong enough to endure ourselves. We must draw closer to God, whatever it takes for you to spend more time talking to God. There's no magic words. There's no official prayer. Even if you're just saying, God, what in the world is going on? I don't know how to handle. I don't know even what to do. That's good enough. If you're taking one step closer to the Father, you are participating not just in enduring your own strife, but you are fighting your part in the cosmic battle that's going on around the world. Your little sector, your battlefield matters to the broad scale, and so that's why I love the Bunkaroos so much. Everybody's sticking together. We're sharing our problems. Feel free to call in if you want to call in and just tell us about your problems. And I won't have any solutions for you, but I sure will pray for you and encourage you to stay close to the Father. By the way, okay, if you get the newsletter, which you should get the newsletter, go to canarycry.party. There's a newsletter button. Sign up for that newsletter. And you'll get an email right before every show. For Basil's Bunker shows, there's a button right there in the newsletter where you click the button, you're put in the waiting room to talk on this show, to come on the show. All right? So go press that button. If you're not on the newsletter, go to canarycry.party, sign up there. I will just slap this link to get in the waiting room right into the chat here. Keep in mind, we have no official schedule for call-ins, so, just be ready to hang out. You can watch the show there and stuff. As well as the text message alert system. In case somebody misses the pre-show and they don't know, you should also join the text message alert system because I send out a text before every show. And, excuse me, show burps are starting. And you get a text message, and you can text me back. It's a good time. It's a good time. Speaking of which, there was a conversation about when referring to the text messages coming in, I suggested, because, people might not know if it's their text or whatever. I said I could call them by the last four numbers in their phone number, but I think that's like the most important, so I wouldn't do that. But also just using the area code, the first three numbers. And I've had yeses and nos on whether to do that. And maybe some people don't understand what I'm saying. Maybe I need to be more specific. Somebody says here, please no doxing the phone numbers. Well, I don't think your area code technically is doxing, but okay. Somebody says, woohoo, buckle up, bunkaroos. Thank you. Somebody said, oh no, I dreamt of this. Love, Faye. Hey, Faye, thanks for being here. Boy, Faye just clicked my brain a little bit. My dreams have been off the charts lately. Okay, that is not what this episode is about, but totally off the charts. Not going to go into it. This is not a dream episode, but maybe we will. Now let's see here. Did I put the link in there? I did. Okay, so let's get down to business here. Let me jump over to my notes. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and start out with your prepper term of the day. Gonna do prepper acronym. Oh, we don't have a jingle for this or anything, so maybe I'll have to make one up. Doobie doobie doop. What did he say? Who's saying what? It's the prepper term of the day. Bah! See, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad. Okay. Yes. Here's the thing, folks. The prepper community uses a lot of acronyms. They use a lot of terms. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. And for my own benefit, stemming from the phrase Noah's BOV, it has inspired me to pay more attention, dig into sort of, colloquial terms, acronyms, and phrases that are common in the prepper community. We can all learn it together, and so we can speak in our own beautiful little language. So look at this. I got some slides here. Basil's Bunker, PAD, prepper acronym of the day. We're going to start with an acronym. Let's see. This one, look, I just saw this one, and I just really had to bring it. I thought it was a good place to start because usually, acronyms, they're like 3 letters. This one crossed my path. It is not 3 letters. It is 6, 7, 9 letters. And you might think that 9-letter acronym is a little wackadoodle, but I will say this. It sounds fun to say. Everybody looking at the screen right now on 3, we're all going to try to say this one. It's Teotwaki. Teotwaki. It sounds like, you know what it sounds like. Sounds like somebody's name. Teotwaki. Sounds like a very skilled survivalist is what it sounds like. If you met somebody named Teotwaki, you know this guy or this gal knows what they're doing in an apocalypse situation. So Teotwaki, that is Teotwaki. Are you taking notes, podcast listeners? I'll do it again. Take notes, write it down, take out your phone, type this in. I'll wait. That's enough. Teotwaki. Insanity. Teotwaki. Thank you very much. I'll give a second if somebody in the chat wants to take a stab at maybe what they think this acronym means. I will say this. When I say it, it'll make sense. You could have guessed it someday, eventually. But now you are armed. You are prepared with the acronym Teotwaki. Teotwaki. And the prize goes to Psalm 40 because Teotwaki means the end of the world as we know it. Cue the song. Cue the clip. There's no clip. I can't pay for that clip. The end of the world as we know it. Now, you might not think this might be the most important acronym to know, but the end of the world as we know it is kind of a mouthful. Saying Teotwaki, a verbal acronym. Yes, Psalm 40 says, I'd like to solve the puzzle. You did a very good job. The end of the world as we know it. So, look, I don't know what context you would possibly use the acronym Teotwaki, Teotwaki. But I think if we ever see each other in real life, it's a good signal. It'll be a good signal. We're talking about bunker culture. This is a good safety phrase. If you find yourself wandering up on a door to a bunker that has 2 googly eyes on the out of it, you knock and then you say, Teotwaki. And then you'll hear, Baka! And you'll know you're in the right place. Make sure to bring a gift. As we're developing the bunker culture, make sure to bring a gift. Don't show up to somebody's bunker empty-handed. It could be any number of things. It's not about what you bring, it's the thoughtfulness that counts. That's how you're going to build the kind of relationship that you need to start out with your, your bunker buddy, your fellow bunkeroos. All right, so that's the prepper acronym of the day, Tiotwaki. But I just couldn't help myself. Next up, we have the prepper idiom of the day. This could also be called prepper phrase of the day, prepper term of the day. I chose prepper idiom of the day to be a little bit more exotic. The acronym for that, of course, is PID. For any PID heads out there, rock band when I was in college. Prepper idiom of the day, ballistic wampum. Now listen, if you're showing up to somebody's bunker, you know they're there, you want to make friends, you need some help, you got to show up with a gift to the door of the bunker, and ballistic wampum may be a pretty good gift. If somebody comes up on my bunker waving around a box of ballistic wampum, then there's a good chance they're getting in. And ballistic wampum, I think you could guess, is ammunition stored for disaster preparedness, which of course, ballistic wampum is the most, creative way, clever way to talk about ammunition, because of course, we all know ammunition is not just good for personal use, not just good for self-defense, hunting, these various things, but ballistic wampum, of course, for those who don't know, maybe somebody outside the United States, wampum is another word for money. It's a word for money that was, I believe, if I'm led to believe what I learned in elementary school is true, wampum was sort of a word for money that the Native Americans used. Perhaps they were seashells or something, sort of Proto-American currency, wampum. And it's in the context of, bartering, trading, or giving as a gift to the bunkaroo that you are trying to find shelter with. Ballistic wampum, very clever. And interestingly enough, Tiotwaki might show up with some wampum, some ballistic wampum. Tiotwaki, get on in here, you little rascal. Thanks for the shells. Oh my gosh. Wampum was, I think, a version of wampum back in the day was seashells. And now we've got wampum shells of ammunition. Folks, I did not plan this, but this is the brilliance that happens when bunkaroos get together and learn a little something. Okay, so there you go. Ballistic wampum, show up to the bunker waving a box of that. Certainly you'll be let in wherever you want to go. And yes, it's not all about personal use either. You can, actually, where I found this, they did have a list of the most profitable ballistic wampum to keep around. Of course, the basics. You're going to want your 223. You're going to want your 22 LR. You're going to want your 9mm. You're going to want the basics. More of the basics you have, the more valuable your ballistic wampum will be. You don't want to have a closet full of 6.5 Creedmoor. Nobody's shooting 6.5 Creedmoor, except for very select few of very handsome and clever and smart individuals. 6.5 Creedmoor, strange ammunition. But ballistic wampum, go do it, folks. Remember, it's an investment. It's an investment. It's currency. Okay, you get the point. So there you go. Hope that helps out. Helps you guys out. I think it's gonna help me out. It's gonna help me out when y'all show up to the door of the bunker, waving around your ballistic wampum. Appreciate it. Oopsies, man. I'm trying to put your guys' comments on the screen, and they're moving by pretty fast. Kind of hard to do. But let's see here. Joyful Noise in the chat. Leo, Simple Cody, Susie Cute on Rumble. Oh, Susie Cute on Rumble saying got to reload your own 6.5. Girl, let me tell you, you do not. It takes a small fortune to go out there and get an effective treasure chest of ballistic wampum, 6.5 grade more. Simple Cody says, dynamite makes a good fishing pole. Good point. Go get some commercial grade, some consumer grade TNT. That'll help you get the fish. Okay, here's the thing, folks. If you've been paying attention recently to our other shows, both Gonzo and myself have had a very interesting relationship with dentistry lately. It doesn't make any sense for both of us at the exact same time. That, I had a dentist appointment about 2 weeks ago, and then the next week, Gons had a dentist appointment, and then I had another dentist appointment, and I have another one coming up. It just keeps happening. And yes, it will be a Wednesday. It's the only day the guy's in the office. And I appreciate it. Kind of faded recently, but I appreciate all the very enthusiastic people telling me to check out biological dentistry. Biological dentistry, very interesting. School of dentistry, not your basic allopathic dentistry. Focus much more on sort of a holistic, whole body dental thing, which is pretty interesting. However, people were recommending I check out a biological dentistry alternative to a root canal. And I should have brought the actual article. But I'll tell you this, long story short, the biological dentistry alternative to a root canal is pulling the tooth out entirely. So neither of the options sound really great to me. Now, their biological dentistry professional opinion is that, doing root canals exposes the inside of your mouth down in your gums and bones and everything, exposes it to a potential for bacterial infection. That is true. Allegedly, they put, medicine down there, antibiotics or something to prevent the infections. However, they do happen. I will say, they take a little x-ray of my mouth and they go, oh, you see that? And they show me something that looks exactly like everything else that I've ever seen. They say, oh, no, that little shade right there. I go, no, there's no shade. You're lying to me. I do not trust you, dentist. They go, very funny, very funny. And then they take out these straps and they strap me to the chair. And I say, what is this? I was just kidding. They said, look, if you're going to be difficult, we got to do this the hard way. And they say, no. I see it. I see the shade on the x-ray. And they go, okay, good. Well, that means that there's a potential that there is an infection in there. And I go, okay, a potential, you say, because I don't feel it. I don't feel anything. The tooth doesn't hurt. The gums don't hurt. Nothing hurts. They go, yes, well, it wouldn't hurt now. But someday in the future, might not be tomorrow, might not be the next day, might be after society has fallen, but someday, that little shade there on the x-ray will become a full-fledged infection, and it will be very sad for you. Will it kill you? I don't know. There's no way of telling. I'm just a dentist. But bad things can happen, and bad things can happen to the rest of your body. The rest of my body, I say. Say yes, the rest of your body. An infection in your gums and your teeth could be bad for your heart, could be bad for your other teeth, could be bad for all sorts of stuff. And I go, well, this seems like we really rushed into something a little bit then. Seems like maybe we should have second thought this root canal in the first place. And they say, yeah, well, they always blame the last guy, don't they? This is one of the problems. One of the problems with being a young person in America who moves around a little bit, in your younger years, you're moving from here to there, going to college, trying to find your place where you're going to land. And so you don't necessarily keep the same dentist for a long period of time. which more than anything gives the next guy an opportunity to blame the last guy for whatever's going on. And I would just appreciate a little professional courtesy if one of these dentists, even one, would take a little bit of responsibility for his field. Come on now. Come on. All right. Where is I going with this? Oh, yes. So the infection. Okay, back to the infection. The infection, we don't know when it'll go bad, but it could go bad, and it will go bad. It's just a matter of time. And seeing as the way the world is going right now, there's a non-insignificant chance that in a year or two, there will be no more dentists. They will all have quit. The world would be in a place where a dentist says, I'm done. I'm done being a dentist. Now it's time for me to follow my true passion, which is being an apocalypse wasteland warlord. That's right. I'm tired of being in people's mouths. I'm tired of fixing people's teeth. No, I want to wear their teeth on a necklace around my neck. Think about that. A dentist-themed apocalypse warlord. I feel another IP coming on here. That's right. Old school Basil heads will remember, oops, I married a Nephilim, the award-winning intellectual property. And now... I don't have a clever name yet, but let's see here. Apocalypse Warlord Dentist. It doesn't really trip right off the tongue, but that's what I'm going to put in my notes, and we'll figure it out. Apocalypse Warlord Dentist. The tooth reaper. The tooth reaper. Write it down, everybody. We're going to need this. Trademark. Nobody can take it. Okay, so the tooth reaper is your dentist, and the society collapses, and he gives up his long, grueling life of dentistry to make his parents proud and to whatever people. God bless you, dentists. I'm not trying to make fun of dentists. I appreciate you very much, but I understand there's some statistics about dentistry and the mental health of dentists. And at least last time I checked, it was a shaky business being a dentist, and I could see how it could wear on somebody. Everybody is scared of you. Nobody trusts you. A la me. I am scared of you. I do not trust you, dentists. Not personal. It is not personal. But you are doing things that I don't quite understand and that I wish I could at least get knocked out for. Do I really need to be awake for the root canal? Is there some sort of pleasure that the dentist gets out of keeping me awake for the root canal? I don't know. I don't know, folks. Just asking questions, okay? Just over here asking questions, not making any conspiracy theories. But there would come a time, I can easily see it, where my dentist would say, I'm tired, I'm tired of being in people's mouths. I still want to be feared. I would like to still gain the pleasure from being feared and being loathed, because that's just part of being a dentist. You gotta like those things. And if society collapses and a dentist is having a hard time getting the fear and loathing that they are used to when society was at its peak, I could see a dentist wanting to become a warlord. And, there's a lot of crossover skills. Like I said, the aforementioned pleasure in torturing people and being feared. What's like the number one characteristic of an effective warlord? Fear. They must be feared. And one way to, sort of develop that air of fear is to wear your victim's teeth around your neck, or make jewelry out of it, or maybe a helmet covered, a helmet in the shape of a tooth. It's kind of like a crown type of thing. A helmet in the shape of a tooth covered in teeth. You walk up to any bunker, you walk up to any settlement, they will be begging you to take their ballistic wampum to leave you alone. and then you can take their resources, perhaps even put them to work in your sort of tooth themed warlord motorcycle gang as you speed across. This is just what I'm not saying my dentist specifically. It's not when I look into their eyes while I'm looking up and they're in my mouth and I'm choking on tooth dust and water and bad tasting chemicals in my mouth, and I look up and I can see really close into their eyeball. I can see their eyeball is magnified because of their little magnification goggles that they use to get really far in there. I'm looking at his eyeballs magnified, and I can see into his soul. I can see. That's not a metaphor. That's not some sort of, poetic symbolism. It's not even sort of an ancient sort of belief. When they're wearing those little magnifying glasses, you can actually see inside their soul, and you see a little them. You see a little version of them inside of their pupil. And inside of the pupil, you see them, and they are wearing big spiky leather shoulder pads, and they're wearing a helmet that's made of teeth, and they're wearing the teeth of their enemies around their neck on a necklace, and they're raising up some sort of battle axe that's also in the shape of a tooth. It's the thing with dentists, it's kind of, they have one thing to work with. You talk about branding, like you have one shape, and that's the shape of a tooth. So that's what they make everything in the shape of. And I can see this happening in the darkness of his pupil while he's hovering over me and hurting me very badly. And I'm not saying that that's what my personal specific dentist wants, but I am saying that's exactly what I see in his soul when I look into his eyes. And so I can see my dentist becoming the Tooth Reaper. And the problem is, when all the dentists have conquered all the lands, when all the dentists have laid waste to what was once a thriving yet crumbling American society, and the Tooth Reaper has become so feared that he has reaped all the teeth. When the Tooth Reaper has reaped all the teeth there is to reap, and he's standing on a pile of the teeth of his enemies, and he's alone in the desert on a pile of teeth, and he puts his tooth-shaped battle axe down. He takes his tooth-shaped, covered in teeth helmet off, and the camera zooms in again to his eye, because we're looking at the dentist's eyes and we can see what's really in their soul, and the camera zooms in to the Tooth Reaper's eye, and a single tear rolls out of his eye, because the Tooth Reaper knows that there are no more teeth for him to reap. And what is he to do? So after this is done, and the Tooth Reaper, puts on his helmet, rides off into the sunset on his motorcycle to pursue new lands, new people to reap, new teeth to reap, perhaps maybe animals. He rides off and the movie's over. There's no more dentists. There's not a dentist. And hopefully, if you're clever and prepared, and you have stayed underground, and your booby traps are effective, and you have a trustworthy duck that you have made friends with, that you fed the duck, and he's now your little scout, and the duck doesn't have teeth, so he can kind of go around, and the Tooth Reaper does not want to hurt the duck, but the duck is on your side, and he tells you when the Tooth Reaper's coming, so you know when to go into the bunker, you know when to maybe dive into a pond and use a little bamboo reed as a breathing tube so that you can survive another day. When the dentist is gone, the Tooth Reaper hath reaped, and you have teeth left. What are you gonna do when that shade that you could barely pick out on the x-ray that the dentist, he is now the tooth reaper, formerly your dentist, and he told you, look at that shade. You say, I don't see the shade. He says, no, look right there. And you say, okay, I guess I'll trust you. What does that mean? And he says, someday that's going to be an infection. And my friends, that day will come. Time makes fools of us all. And time makes our teeth hurt. That is the thing. It's an eventuality. Your teeth will hurt someday. And you didn't listen to the dentist. You survived his reaping. And now that infection is starting to get to you. And you feel the pain. You feel the pain. I don't know where you feel the pain. Maybe you feel it in your body. But you at least feel it in your tooth. And what are you going to do? You're so prepared for everything else. You had the water filtration system. You had the solar panels. You had the fire starters. You had the 6 years worth of freeze-dried food. You had the ballistic wampum. You had everything ready. You were so prepared. But what you didn't prepare for was that sneaky little infection in the tooth. So, I thought it was an interesting idea to dive in and take a look at some post-apocalyptic, societal collapse dental practices. I am passionate now about, after doing this research on the, prepper dentistry. And not only, what'll go into a kit, we'll talk about what goes into a apocalypse prepper tooth kit, dentistry kit. We'll talk about how to do some things. We'll talk about how to extract a tooth. We'll talk about how to do your own crown, which is interesting. I didn't know this was all a thing. But we talk about all the time how skills are going to be very important. Skills are the most important thing for being adequately prepared for the end of society and the reaping of the tooth reaper. And, an interesting, let's see here. Okay, I want to start out. Interesting. I want to start out with a note from Trashman. Trashman sent me this great note. Thank you very much, Trashman. He told a little story here that I will tell to you. I do want to give a shout out. For some reason, this is worrying me a little bit. Okay. Faye in the chat says, as long as we're still dependent on stores for food, we shouldn't worry about dental access. I don't know if I understand that. Oh, yeah, if the grocery store is still open, you say? Yes. If the grocery store is still open, the reaper probably has not gone full tooth reaper. But Trashman says this here. He tells a story. I'm gonna summarize the first part of his story, which is he was at a restaurant with his mother, and I believe, his mother and his wife and 2-year-old daughter. They are at a restaurant, and his mother started choking, and they went through a couple versions of trying to do the Heimlich maneuver, and it was very scary. And thankfully, luckily, his mother stopped choking, but it was kind of spooky. I could totally see that being an extremely spooky thing. It says, I've been extremely paranoid about choking, but for good reason. You see, my teeth are in terrible shape, and I hope, Trashman, this is okay. Maybe I should have asked beforehand, but I think it's a really good entry into this. And he talks about my front tooth is hollow and the next one to it is gone. One tooth that's only a shard sticking out of the gum, and yesterday I lost half a molar. Buddy, you are telling me the things just happen with these teeth. And he says, how are we, or I, going to eat in the wilderness? This is a good start when it comes to eating the food with dental problems. And he says, well, there's a few options here. And listen up, because even if you don't have teeth problems now, if the teeth problems come in the apocalypse, you're going to want to keep this in mind. How does one acquire it? Oh, where is it? Okay. Leafy greens, vegetation, and easily chewed meats. That's good. How does one acquire easily chewed meats? A very long cooking regimen. Boil for hours after cut into tiny chunks, or all day in a smoker or a pit. With the downfall of society, one thing that could go by the wayside is fancy dental procedures. Luckily, any fool with the gumption to do it can pull teeth. Oh, lordy. I pray that your teeth feel better and are healed along with Gonza's and that lady who had a teeth dream as he did a few bunkers back. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And let's chew our food, Trashman says. Like the meat of the word, we must chew or stay on the milk and honey. You can't grow big and strong living like that. Though locusts and honey, I believe you can. And he gives some great scriptural references here for that. Hebrews 5:13. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. And 1 Peter 2:2, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, and ye may grow thereby. Thank you very much. And so, yes, the teeth issue can be very real. And if it's not real for you now, it may become real, like I said, once the reaper hath reaped. So check this out. I'm going to start out with a couple of things. I'm going to start out here. Let me give you this. Here, look at this. There you go. This is from healthymouthproject.com. The Healthy Mouth Project. This is wonderful. Let me just give you a glimpse into some other things we're going to be looking at. Prepper's Guide from Backdoor Survival. Prepper's Guide to Dentistry. How to build your own... Whoop, I can't pull it up. How to build your own emergency dental supply kit from geekprepper.com. Prepper. But the Healthy Mouth Project has this to say. When you're thinking about prepping for a true SHTF scenario, being prepared to deal with dental issues and emergencies is probably low down on your list of priorities and can easily be overlooked. Anybody else? Is the dental stuff high on the list? Is it low on the list? We need to, very sincerely, take a look at this. By the way, this is written by Dr. McPherson. Thank you very much, Dr. McPherson. He says, I also believe that it is a very important part of anyone's preparedness plan as a bad toothache. Dental abscess or broken tooth can really make eating and life in general very difficult. Preparing for dental emergencies doesn't have to be difficult, and I'm going to guide you through everything you should consider for this process. And of course, he says prevention. Okay. Of course, we want to prevent the tooth issues. Avoid the sugar. Be careful of crunchy things. Don't grind your teeth at night. Make sure to brush your teeth. But then we get to supplies. Some of the supplies you'll need for dental preparedness are also supplies you'll likely have prepped for medical emergencies. I've tried to include a comprehensive list of items that I recommend stocking in case of emergencies. And there's actually some other things on some of the other lists I'll go into as well. But hello, would anybody like a Basil's Bunker, the Tooth Reaper preparedness kit? This seems very possible. All right, first you got to get some gauze. Gauze is important. Always need gauze, adequate for most dental applications. You got isopropyl alcohol and bleach. Of course, you're going to want to sterilize things. Extra toothbrushes, toothpaste, obviously. Temporary filling and cement material. Now, hold on now. We're going to get into some serious business. Many drugstores sell this material. One of the most common is Temperin. You can use this to patch holes in teeth or temporarily re-cement crowns that have come off. This is a horrifying idea, by the way. Give me 1 second. Dropped something. Always dropping my things. Okay, by the way, nobody's noticed that, of course, in Kinnear Cry Radio, Kinnear Cry News Talk, other stuff, I'm wearing my white collared shirt. I thought for Basil's Bunker, I would get away from the collared shirt because, you know, it's the apocalypse. You don't necessarily need collars unless you're trying to become some sort of warlord politician, which I'm not saying is not in the plan. Okay, back to the thing. Temporary filling and cement material. This is a good one to have. Dental cleaning equipment. This is your basic spiky objects. Your spiky pokers, your scoops, your teeth scoops, your various blades, things like that. You just get a dental tool kit. A suture kit, which is concerning. Sutures for most dental uses are 3 to 0 chromic gut, will dissolve on their own, or silk, have to be removed. Also, I'd recommend watching videos on basic suturing techniques so that you can do it in an emergency situation. Anybody ready to give somebody stitches in their mouth? I did not think so. Of course, you know how to get some antibiotics. Listen to this. You can purchase fish antibiotics that are the exact same ingredient and dosage as what you'd find at the pharmacy. I'd recommend stocking amoxicillin, clindamycin for people allergic to penicillin, and azithromycin for infections that don't respond to the first two. These will take care of most standard dental infections. For specific brands, please visit doomandbloom.net. Okay, maybe I will. He's a medical doctor who has an emphasis on survival medicine. Okay, doomandbloom.net, not an endorsement, but I will check it out. Well, we already knew to get antibiotics. That's not necessarily new. Of course, he says get some pain medications, ibuprofen, Tylenol, extraction instruments, rather, still concerning. A minimal set of instruments for dental extractions would be a 301 elevator, okay? 301 elevator and 150 and 151 dental extraction forceps. You can purchase these from multiple sellers on eBay without many issues. Look, I'm not telling anybody where to shop, but eBay, at least back in my day, was for used items. I don't know if I want used. I'm sure that's different now. Then a spoon excavator instrument. These are 3 words that I really don't like being next to each other. Spoon excavator instrument. If you'd like an all-in-one kit, then he makes a link. But don't worry, you'll want the Basil's Bunker Survival Deluxe Dental Kit. Okay, emergency dental care. Here's some things to know. Emergency dental care. In a situation where you're seeing a dentist is out of the question, or your dentist has become a warlord and reaped all the teeth there is to reap and rode off into the sunset, your options for emergency dental care are pretty limited. In some situations, you'll be able to patch the area, but if you're having significant pain, and your best option for immediate treatment is going to be pulling the offending tooth. Before we get to that, let's take a look at some of our easier fixes. Easy fixes, folks. That's what we're here for. Broken teeth. If the tooth is broken but doesn't have any pain or soft decay that you can see, you can attempt to repair the area with temporary filling material. Place the material into the hole in your tooth, bite up and down a couple of times, and then allow it to set up. It will be a challenge to get the material to stay in place, so you'll want to take it pretty easy eating in that area. If the tooth does have some soft, decayed areas, it's hurting my teeth just reading about this. I don't know, guys. Attempt to remove as much of the softened area as possible with the spoon excavator, and then place the temporary filling material in place. Crown off. If you have a crown off, you may try re-cementing it in place. Then he has a little guide here. I think, actually, that gives me a lot of confidence for at least some minor dental stuff. Dentistry, much like a lot of medicine, is a bit of a mystery to the unlearned, at least. I think, actually, dentistry is even more of a mystery than most medicine, at least to me, because I don't know what I'm looking at in there. You ever look into the mirror and look at your own teeth, and it really weirds you out, actually. It's a little disturbing. Don't look at your own teeth for too long. You'll start to question a lot of things. But, what a dentist is doing in there is quite a mystery, at least to me. So I'm actually here's what I'm going to do. Let's just do this together, shall we? I wonder, Oh gosh, I can't do. Hold on. Okay. Let's do this. Let's search. What am I searching for? Where'd my thing go? Oh, anyways, I'm not going to search it right now, but we got to get like a little practice mouth. Huh? A little practice mouth? I mean, you get a dummy to practice CPR. You get, a weird little pad of fake flesh to practice your sutures. If you've not done either of these things, you really should. So I'm sure there's like a dentist practice mouth that you can try to get in there. This is something that I would not want to be doing for real my very first time doing it. But knowing that if a crown comes off, there are products that I could put it back on, and it's just hurting my teeth just thinking about it. But it gives me a little bit of hope and perhaps even some confidence that we'll be able to make this. Night of the Hungry Panda says, no on-air flossing, please. I have tested my luck with podcasting and the different things that I can get away with. And yeah, I'm not sure I'm ready to try. I don't know if I have the confidence nor the skill to make on-air flossing, an acceptable thing to do. Where was I? Swelling around a tooth that can be seen on your cheek or lower jaw. You'll want to start a course of antibiotics to reduce the infection, of course. If you expect that you'll be able to see a dentist in the relatively near future, this will be fine. If there's no foreseeable chance of seeing a dentist, the reaper hath reaped. You'll likely want to pull the offending tooth. And that's when we get into how to pull a tooth. And I'm not gonna get super into it for you. I'll give you the basics. Use pliers, pull tooth, twist and pull. That's your basics. Look it up for yourself if you want something more specific. There's got some dentistry terms and different names for pliers. But it's kind of get in there and then you just kind of twist and pull. Now, I'm going over here to backdoor survival because they had some actually a little bit more on the not a little bit more on the prepping side, a little bit more on the alternatives. Dude, and those who are here watching me scroll this page, it is painfully slow, and the advertisements are out of this world. Jeez Louise. When you move your mouse and when you move it, it like stays there. Like it's like you got like it just, I don't know, you move your mouse and it leaves like 10 pointers behind it. Anyways, okay. Other items that are useful to the survival dentist. And they put dentist in quotes. Okay, so this is for the survival dentist. Dental floss, dental picks, toothbrushes, toothpaste, baking soda, yes. Dental or orthodontic wax used for braces. Now, this was very interesting. If you ever had braces, if you have a pokey part of the braces, you can get this little wax, you can put it on there. Even candle wax will do in a pinch. Use it to splint a loose tooth to its neighbors. That's very good knowledge. If you got a tooth that is loose in your mouth and the world has ended, at least for the moment, take dental wax, orthodontic wax, or even candle wax, and you can attach that tooth on either side to like splint it, to connect it to the teeth next to you. It's almost like doing a bridge just out of wax. I thought that was a pretty clever thing. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. And also important, something that Dr. McPherson didn't give you, a rubber bite block to keep the mouth open. This provides good visualization and protection from getting bitten. A large eraser would serve the purpose. Yeah, that's something Dr. McPherson kind of left out. And when you're pulling your friend's tooth, you got to get some rubber in there so he doesn't bite your fingers off. Of course, cotton pellets, cotton rolls, Q-tips, gauze sponges. They're going to be a lot of blood, folks. You got to soak up the blood. Commercial temporary filling material. Here's the names of this, by the way. Tempanol, Tempanol, Cavit, Cavit, or Dentemp. Now, listen up, Mom. Oil of cloves. Time to bust out Mom's essential oils. Oil of cloves, a natural anesthetic, often found in these commercials preparations, such as Red Cross toothache medicine and Dent's toothache drops. Oil of cloves. If you've got somebody in your life who is a master of the essential oils, see if you can get oil of cloves. It will help with the pain. Says it's more important to know that eugenol might burn the tongue, so be careful when touching anything but teeth with it. And eugenol is the oil of cloves. Oral analgesics like Hurricane or Oragel, good, yes. Zinc oxide powder, when mixed with 2 drops of clove oil, will harden into temporary filling cement. When you don't have temporary filling cement from the CVS or the Rite Aid, you can take 2 drops of clove oil, mix it with zinc oxide powder, and make your own dental cement. Listen up, folks. Maybe we should put a survivalist dental I don't know, workshop or something. It says you want a spatula for mixing or tongue depressor. Now we've got oil of oregano, a natural antibacterial. A bulb syringe to blow air and dry teeth for better visualization. That's important. You got to blow air. You know, they're always blowing air and sucking spit out, stuff like that. A bulb syringe, very important. And an irrigation syringe to clean areas upon work is being done. Can you imagine? You're there. You're working on your mother's teeth. She trusts you. You've stuffed a piece of rubber so she doesn't bite you. And you're poking around with your whatever, tooth spatula or spoon scoop or whatever. And you hit you find what you got to do. And, but there's blood everywhere, or there's spit, or there's leftover freeze-dried tomato sauce or something. You're gonna want one of those big syringes for irrigation. Blow it away. An irrigation syringe. And then it says get some scalpels. Scalpel number 15, scalpel number 10. Incise and drain abscesses. Yiker doodles. Then get your basic dental scrapers, spoon excavators. We've heard that one a couple times. There's a description here. These instruments will have a flat circular tip that is used to excavate. I don't like it. Use it to excavate decaying material from the tooth. A powered dental drill would be a much better choice, but not likely to be an option off the grid. I don't know. I think we could get our hands on a powered dental drill beforehand. Maybe we should check. See, I want to look at these products, but I don't necessarily want to lead people to Amazon. But let's be real. I'm going to go to Amazon real quick and see how much a powered dental drill will run us. Let's find out. Here we are. Powered. Oh, please. Sorry, I got to poke it with my hands here. I don't recommend anybody try to do podcasting inside of a VR headset. Okay. Dental or powered dental drill. Somebody's calling it a scaler. I don't know what a scaler means. That might be their more official name. Powered dental drill. Okay. Starting out here, we've got a cordless drill set, 12-volt power drill with battery and charger. No, that's not what we want. A rotary toolkit. Okay.
Rotary toolkit. We got those. Here we go. Smedent Strong Power N30 N3S blah blah blah. Lab micromotor 35,000 RPM for treatment use. That doesn't sound like it's going to be shipping from America. Let's just say that. Yeah, it's mostly just rotary tools here. All right. Well, a rotary tool, that'll be fine. Yeah, it's $60 for this micromotor lab. Oh, this is a jewelry rotary kit. Get yourself a rotary drill for toothing. All right. Then it talks about the pliers. They call them elevators and extraction forceps. So the big thing for me in this one was making your own dental cement, 2 drops of clove oil with zinc oxide powder, and also the wax. They say you can also put the wax over a tooth if it is feeling, particularly sensitive to stuff. Here they've got blood clotting agents. You should have blood clotting agents in your survival bag anyways. Sutures, of course, got to sew them up, and then pain medication and antibiotics. Most of it seems pretty easy peasy, with the exception of the rotary drill, but it seems like really important ones is the wax and the cement. And I'm just talking from somebody who has really been paying off his dentist's kids' college fund is what's been going on. I got to get off this godforsaken website. It's way too many advertisements. It's slowing down the whole computer. Goodness gracious. And then, of course, geekprepper.com. They have pretty much the same stuff. Ooh. An emergency dental kit could prove highly beneficial in the following situations: dislodged tooth, lost or loose fillings, severe toothache, loose crowns. I gotta stop talking about this. This is bugging me. This is like starting to hurt my teeth just talking about it. My goodness. But this is kind of the next step here. I think this is our next piece of homework, is putting together, or at least receiving, at least a basic emergency dental kit. What do you guys think? I think so too. I think that's a good idea. All right. Well, some interesting stuff here. When I was being told about the biological dentistry alternatives for root canals, I was thinking, oh, the hidden knowledge, the hidden wisdom, the stuff big dentist doesn't want you to know about whatever. You can grow your teeth back. I've heard that for years. There's ways you can grow your teeth, your oil pulling, your whatever. I never really got too deep into it to try to explain it to anybody. But this has been a long time thing, and I thought, okay, biological dentist, let me look it up. Maybe they can grow my teeth back. They cannot grow my teeth back. Nobody is claiming to be able to fix my root canal problem by growing my teeth back, at least not that I've been able to find. And the alternative of entirely pulling the tooth, I don't really like the idea of that. I would like to keep the teeth, but I don't really know why exactly. I'm very attached to my teeth. All of them. But if you've been paying attention lately, some very interesting updates. This is coming from popularmechanics.com. Humans may be able to grow new teeth within just 6 years. Can I hold on? Can I just hold on for 6 years? Can society not collapse for 6 years? Can this tooth not get infected for 6 years? That would be nice. It says here, while bones can grow themselves when they break, teeth aren't so lucky, and that leads to millions of people worldwide suffering from some form of edentulism, aka toothlessness. Edentulism, very woke term for it, okay? They're not toothlessness. They're not toothless. They're edentulism. What is it? Homeless, houseless. Yeah. Now, Japanese researchers are moving to a promising tooth regrowing medicine into human trials. The first patients will be receiving the drug intravenously in September of this year. This was written in June last month. So this September, the drug is given intravenously. So they're just putting tooth juice into your blood, and that's going to regrow your teeth. If the trial is successful, the researchers hope the drug will become available for all forms of toothlessness sometime around 2030. That is very interesting. Let me see if I can get more details here. Because what exactly is happening? If there's no tooth there, what is growing? How does it know to grow? Oh, here it is. Oh, good. Yes, an advertisement loading. This development follows years of study around a particular antibody named uterine sensitization. An antibody named uterine sensitization. That is that's weird. Okay, uterine. Like a uterus? Sensitization. Associated gene 1, USAG1, which has been shown to inhibit the growth of teeth in ferrets and mice back in 2021. Scientists from Kyoto University, who will also be involved in future human trials, discovered a monoclonal antibody, a technique usually used in fighting cancer. Not a single mention of COVID there. That's very interesting. Especially 2021, they discovered this monoclonal antibody that can grow teeth. There's some interesting timing going on with this, folks. That disrupted the interaction between USAG1 and molecules known as bone morphogenetic protein, or BMP. Quote, we knew that suppressing USAG1 benefits tooth growth. What we did not know was whether it would be enough, Kyoto University Katsu Takahashi, a co-author of the study, said in a press statement at the time, quote, ferrets are diphyodont animals with similar dental patterns to humans. I'm going to guess that diphyodont means that they have baby teeth and then they have adult teeth. That is my guess. Now, scientists will see just how similar, because humans will soon undergo a similar trial in September of this year, lasting 11 months. This study will focus on 30 males between the ages of 30 and 64 and missing at least one tooth. Just males. Very interesting. With all the attention that there's been on the fact that science doesn't study female bodies in the same way, at least we'll know dudes can regrow the tooth. And let's be honest, the dudes are the ones that need the help with the teeth. The drug will be administered intravenously to prove its effectiveness and safety. I don't like that already. We've heard that somewhere. And luckily, no side effects have been reported in previous animal studies. If all goes well, Kitano Hospital will administer the treatment to patients between the ages of 2 to 7 who are missing at least 4 teeth, with the end goal of having a tooth regrowing medicine available by the year 2030. While these treatments are currently focused on patients with congenital tooth deficiency, Takahashi hopes the treatment will be available for anyone who's lost a tooth. Okay, so they're going to test it on 30 dudes between 30 and 64, and then they're going to give it to children between the ages of 2 and 7. This is very bizarre. Well, I mean, that's like some Elysium style, get in the people printer and it prints your health back. Put an intravenous monoclonal antibody to grow your teeth back. Very, very, very interesting stuff. I don't know, man. They're trying. Now, of course, I had to go looking around in the Bible, seeing what God has to say about dental hygiene and emergency survivalist dental skills and materials. Not a whole lot of dental hygiene issues, dentistry. Not a lot of that. Of course, we've got some things. We've got things like gnashing of teeth. That's always quite the vivid picture when the Bible starts talking about gnashing of teeth. Oh, I've lost my notes somewhere. Apologies. Wow. Okay, good. Super chill. Super cool. Super professional. Losing. Oh, okay, good. It's one of my windows just became about a 1 inch by 1 inch square. Don't know how, don't know why. Okay, yes. So a lot of gnashing of teeth, Psalm 3:7, shattering the teeth of the wicked, a lot of wrath, Lamentations 3, I am the, Lamentations 3, let me pull this up here. Where are you, Lamentations? Oh, good. Did I close you? Did I not pull you up? Okay. Lamentations 3, talking about, I am the man who has seen affliction, talking about how God shatters his teeth. There was cleanness of teeth that pops up in Amos. Now, Amos, one of the old school Old Testament prophets. Remember, these guys were not very liked. We tend to look back on prophets and say, well, good job, prophets. Thanks for, being the voice of the Lord. Thank you for doing cool stuff like raining fire from heaven, that kind of stuff. The prophets, they're pretty hardcore dudes. But in general, if you really pay attention to the old school prophets, they were not liked. In fact, they were very much hated by the people that they were talking to. And a lot of that was because the prophets were the tool that God used in a certain part of the cycle of the ancient Hebrews, which went something like they would live, and as God is their leader, live in harmony with God, obeying commands and living the blessing that comes along with that. Then they would start to yearn for a king, a human leader. They didn't want God to be the king. They didn't want God to be the leader. So they would complain and ask God for a human leader. And God would say, I don't think you want that, but okay. They say, yes, we do. And then God would give them a human leader. And inevitably, the king would turn evil and society would become evil along with the king. And they would start, punishing the widows and the orphans. And they'd generally be buttheads. They would just cause a lot of trouble. And then after that went on for a little bit, then God came back. They would scream and cry. Sorry. After they became evil, that's when the prophets would show up. And the prophets would say, okay, you guys are doing evil stuff. You're being mean to the widows, the children. You're not helping out the destitute. In fact, you're actively hurting the vulnerable people in your community. This is what happens when you have a human leader. And the prophet would say, the wrath of God is coming if you do not change. If you do not stop being evil to your neighbor, if you do not stop loving war and death, if you do not stop disobeying God, if you do not stop hurting yourselves and others, God's wrath is going to come and set you straight. Which is not somebody, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever tried to talk to somebody who was maybe living in a way that was selfish, living in a way that was hurting others, living in a way that had disregard for the widows and the orphans, living in a way that they didn't care how their actions affected themselves or affected society. You come in and you say, hey, you better repent because this is not going to turn out good for you. They're usually not coming back and saying, wow, thank you for letting me know. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. I should change my ways. That is the right thing to do. No, they usually throw rocks at you, or maybe they're literal or metaphorical rocks. They do not like it. People living in depravity really do not appreciate being told that they should not be living in depravity. And so these prophets were basically hated by everybody. But Amos comes in Amos 4. There's an interesting differentiation between some translations, actually. In fact, I'm going to give you the New International Version first. And it starts out, it's titled, Israel Has Not Returned to God. This is in the aftermath of Amos telling people to change their ways, and they really don't like that. Here's just a taste. This is Amos. Hear this word, you cows of Bashan on Mount Samaria, you women who oppress the poor and crush the needy, and say to your husbands, bring us some drinks. And this is kind of part of the fun part, because, you start talking about prophets telling people they need to repent and change their ways. In the sort of secular sense, or maybe the modern sense, you can imagine trying to tell someone like, hey, you really got to change your ways. It's not just that they were, doing naughty things. It's that their hearts turn cold. Their hearts turn evil. And they're crushing the needy. They are oppressing the poor. This is a society-wide degradation, a cultural degradation of how things should be, how, we should be helping each other, how we should be coming together and, helping out the poor and the needy. This is really the moments when the ancient Hebrews, their hearts were very dark in these moments. And that's when the prophets would come out, and they would oppress the poor, crush the needy, and then ask for a drink. The sovereign Lord has sworn by his holiness, the time will surely come when you will be taken away with hooks, the last of you with fish hooks. You will each go straight out through breaches in the wall, and you will cast out toward Harmon, declares the Lord. Go to Bethel and sin. Go to Gilgal and sin yet more. Bring your sacrifices every morning, your tithes every 3 years. Burn leavened bread as a thank offering, and brag about your free will offerings. Boast about them, you Israelites, for this is what you love to do, declares the sovereign Lord. Very interesting how even in this case, the Israelites, they were sacrificing every morning. I mean, that's how the ancient Hebrews got along for so long, is, in order to absolve them of their sins, they would have to sacrifice an animal, and the blood, has this sacrificial sort of cleansing effect on the individual or the society. It was actually a society-wide, was sort of the most common setup for the ancient Israelites is, after a time, you would do a public sacrifice of animals to atone for the sins of the community. And that would happen like once a year. But in this case, they're being so bad that they are sacrificing every morning, every day. What that shows is they know that they are being absolutely depraved. They know they are behaving badly. They know that they are oppressing the poor. And in the sort of spiritual economy of the Old Testament, it's good to know you're doing bad, and then once a year you do a sacrifice and everybody's forgiven. Once a year. For them to be doing sacrifices every morning means that they know they are doing wrong every day. It says, bring your sacrifices every morning, your tithes every 3 years, burn leavened bread as a thank offering. So live out this visual life of piety, the visual, almost legalistic terms. If you got to do sacrifices to absolve you of your sins, usually do it once a year. You're being bad, so then you start doing it every morning, and you go, wow, this makes me a very good person. I mean, we're super ultra cleansed of our sins. We're supposed to do this once a year or whatever, and we're doing it every day. So actually, we can behave badly. We can oppress the poor. We can crush the needy. every day, and then we can sacrifice every day, and we're still good. God is totally down with this plan, totally down with this system. Burn leavened bread as a thank offering. So not only a sacrifice, but making offerings. Brag about your free will offerings. Boast about them, you Israelites, for this is what you love to do, declares the sovereign Lord. And there's an important lesson here, which is, of course, much like the Pharisees and Sadducees, just because publicly we do religious stuff, just because publicly we put on this display of repentance or piety or whatever, but continue to sin, it becomes a very self-serving thing, and God here is kind of calling them out for it through Amos. But then it goes here. I gave you empty stomachs in every city and lack of bread in every town, yet you have not returned to me, declares the Lord. And it goes on. I also withheld rain from you. When the harvest was there still 3 months away, I sent rain on one town, but withheld it from another. One field had rain, another had none and dried up. So, the Lord was really affecting, was telling them, showing them just how little he approved of the way things were doing it. But that's in the New International Version. It's kind of a new version. A lot of people don't like the NIV. It seems to be, in most cases, pretty straightforward translation. But for the purposes of this episode today, we're going to jump over to the New King James Version. And actually, the majority of versions read something like this. So after Amos calls out the Israelites for being evil and dark and mean, even though they're doing sacrifices all the time, and even though they're paying their tithes more often than not, even though, the New King James Version, he comes out and he says, also, I gave you cleanness of teeth in all your cities, and lack of bread in all your places, yet you have not returned to me, says the Lord. I gave you cleanness of teeth. It's a very interesting thing, because cleanness of teeth nowadays, that's considered a pretty good thing. You got clean teeth. Not only is it like desirable to have clean teeth, but we spend money and time. We judge each other on the cleanliness of our teeth. Cleanliness of teeth is a status symbol. If your teeth aren't clean, a lot of people will consider you, much like the Israelites who had turned their back on everything God was telling them. Cleanness of teeth was almost opposite of the case that it is now. Cleanness of teeth, of course, as some people in the chat are catching on, meant that they didn't have anything to eat. NIV, I gave you empty stomachs in every city. New King James. If my tab, New King James, I gave you cleanness of teeth in all your cities. I gave you empty stomachs in all your cities. The cleanness of teeth was a sign of God withholding from his people, of them not having anything to eat. Having dirty teeth was considered, a good thing. Does that mean God's providing for you? So for those who are maybe feeling a little down about their dental situation, perhaps you've spent more time than you would like to admit staring up into the cold, lifeless, magnified eyes of your dentist. Look, trying to make myself feel better too, Gons and I. Together, we are going to have had 4 dentist appointments in a month between the two of us. But if your teeth need a good professional cleaning, at least you can lean on the fact that it means God is blessing you. God is providing for you. You got something to eat. And in today's madness of fake food, processed foods, sugars and everything, sure, it makes your teeth dirty, but at least you're not going hungry. Cleanness of teeth. This one is one that I wish I could remember. Oh, Psalm 40. Psalm 40 says this would be a good time for Baz to share his tooth miracle story. Yeah, I will, actually. I think I will. I've shared this on a couple other instances. I've shared it on, I think I shared it on Fire Theft Radio most recently. But for those who have not heard my teeth story, I do have a kind of a long, complicated history with dental issues. How much time we got? Yeah, we got a few minutes. I have a long, complicated history with teeth. Look, I got a big mouth and I have little teeth. My teeth, so small. I could never be president. A president needs big teeth. And, I think I've had the normal amount of dental hygiene. The normal, regular amount of dental hygiene. I'm not saying I'm flossing every day, but I'm brushing my teeth every day, twice a day if I'm being good. But I've had some weird, unfortunate sort of things happen. I've had teeth break, of course. When I was in college, I had a filling filled. And this filling fell in between of 2 teeth. A couple of molars. So it was like the cavity was on the inside, kind of touching the other tooth. And so I had this dental work done in college, found my own dentist, big boy dentist visit, and they went at it. And unfortunately, they had to drill out both teeth, kind of in the where the teeth are touching. That was real bad in there. So they drilled out the side of one tooth and the side of the other tooth, and they put fillings, like one filling. I don't know. Is that a bridge? Is that what that's called? I don't know. But it was 2 teeth that were disturbed. And I was in college, so of course I'm eating a lot of Doritos. Gotta eat a lot of Doritos. Eating all sorts of crazy stuff in college. But for some reason, Doritos were the thing. Doritos were the thing that I was doing it. I remember it vividly. I was at a study group thing. And the study group, we have all these snacks and stuff. And I'm chomping down on Doritos. And I'm loving the Doritos. I take one chomp. Hear a sort of blood-curdling crackle in my mouth. Blood-curdling crack. And it's very disturbing. I spit the Dorito out. And I feel, and the filling is gone. The filling that had both teeth sort of fixed simultaneously was gone. And now I just have this giant crater in between 2 teeth. And it's, with teeth, it's always shameful. It feels bad. It affects every part of your life. You're touching it all the time with your tongue because now you have this new hole in your mouth and you're getting food in it all the time. And this isn't great. It's not a great way to live. And so I got a dentist appointment. Oh, no. I already got the dentist appointment. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I can't. God, no. I can't. I couldn't quite get the dentist guy. I kind of just was so ashamed and so shocked and so, I don't know, over it that for some reason I didn't get it fixed right away. And so I'm just kind of living with it, not feeling good about it. But you kind of get in the habit of avoiding chewing on that side or whatever. And it was really sort of affecting me. I would try to forget it. I would try to forget about it. But like every day something would happen. And it was really sort of I don't know, affecting my soul or affecting my spirit in a way. And at the time, I was kind of hopping around looking for, a church or a fellowship or something. I was working at a church, but I also, didn't want to just go to this church because I worked there. I was looking for like a midweek kind of service thing. And I grew up in sort of the more charismatic tradition where miracles were just a part of Christianity. If you believed in Jesus, if you believed the Holy Spirit uh, worked on earth, if you believe God was present and capable of anything, miracles were not necessarily witnessed every single day, but at least we were expectant at all times. And so I looked up this meeting, looked cool, looked like a cool church, was aligned with kind of how I was raised in the more charismatic tradition, which was, that was kind of what I was missing at a lot of the other churches. And maybe I was homesick. Maybe I was, wanting to broaden or go back to the vibe of church that I was used to. So I found this church. It was 2 hours away. And man, oh man, Southern California, living near LA, 2 hours. That could be just down the block. It was, of course, like a lot of midweek services. It was like at a 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. And for those who don't know, 6 o'clock on a Wednesday, you're not driving anywhere in Southern California. That is bumper to bumper. But I did it. Hopped in the car, spent 2 hours driving 30 feet down the road, and got to this church. And it was cool. I was really feeling it there. I was really liking it. I was really, I think I was also away from my friends. Like I didn't go to this church with my friends. I really went there alone. And I think that was really important for me at the time because I would often get kind of razzed for having grown up in the charismatic tradition. And I still get razzed for that. But so I was there and I was just really feeling down about my tooth issue. And this meeting, they were just on it. They were just expectant of miracles. They were just, it was no thing. This was a part of their life. This was a part of their meetings. And this is just what they do. And a guy got up and he says something to the effect of, all right, we're, believing God wants to do some serious miracles here with everybody here. If you're here for a reason. We believe that. And so I want you to touch somewhere on your body. We're going to pray. We're going to sing. We're going to ask God to do some miraculous things. And so I want you to take your finger and I want you to touch on your body where you need a healing. And I said, okay, well, it's in my mouth. So now I'm at this church service at a sort of worship prayer time. And I got to put my finger on the thing that I want healed. And I stick my finger in my mouth. And I kind of stick my finger in between those two teeth where the hole is. And I don't like it, but that's why I'm here. And just like really asking God to do a miracle here. And not to bury the lead, long story short, I felt a literal snap, crackle, and a pop and a heat on the tip of my finger and a heat on that area of my mouth. And much like the sort of horrifying sound when you crack a tooth, you're chewing and you crack a tooth, it was similar. It was like a what was it? That's so funny. See, this is why I can't tell stories. Somebody is, what is this? Basil, is it blasphemy of the Holy Spirit to disrespect healing or speaking in tongues? That's a good question. I don't know. Thank you for typing in all caps, though. So I got my finger in my mouth. I'm touching it. It gets really warm. It's a snap, crackle, pop. It feels like Pop Rocks, that candy Pop Rocks, where it's all like, jumping beans in your mouth or whatever. And it shocked me. It really shocked me. Almost like the feeling in your stomach when you go down on a roller coaster. Like I felt my tummy kind of get butterflies. And I was so shocked by the feeling and the sound, I pulled my finger out really quick. And I started touching it with my tongue. I'm touching it. I'm like, what? I put my finger back in there. I'm feeling it. And folks, it was the most radical, creative miracle that I have ever experienced personally in my life. Because there was, out of nowhere, where there was no tooth, there was tooth. The hole was now tooth. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I had always believed that God does these things. I had heard stories of it happening to other people. I had been in the room when other people had stuff like this happen. It had never happened to me. And I could not, I took my phone, I'm like looking at it in the mirror, I'm like asking people to look, I'm trying to like take a picture of it to like make sure it was real. I stuck my hand in there again, my tongue. The tooth was absolutely perfect. It was as if it were just brand new in my mouth. But the funny part was that it was only one of the teeth. It was two damaged teeth, a big hole in the middle between them, and one of the teeth had been completely miraculously recreated in my mouth perfectly. Blows my mind even now to think about it. But the other tooth was still damaged. It was still had the big hole in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, this is incredible. This is a miracle. I can't believe it happened to me. Thank you. Praise you, God. Holy Lord, hold me. This is incredible. And I go, okay. Holy smokes. I'm sharing people around me. Everybody's like amazed. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, but I still have this other tooth. I still have this other one I got to get fixed. And I stick my finger up there and I'm praying and I'm waiting for the snap, crackle, and the pop. I'm waiting for the heat. It's not happening. But I have faith. I just saw it just happened to one. So I know it can happen to the other one. It's in there. Come on. Let's go. Let's get this other tooth. Did not happen that night. The most sort of bizarre mixture of feeling and experience of faith for me. And I didn't want to, and I still don't call it half of a miracle. Because it was a full miracle. Having a damaged tooth become completely renewed in my mouth. But why not the other one? Why just one of them? And I went back to this meeting a couple times. I'm like, okay, it's just a matter of time. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't want to do it to that first one. I don't know why he didn't want to do both that first time. But I'm coming back. I am faithful. I am testifying. I am going. Let's get this other one done. Went to the meeting again. Didn't happen. Went to the meeting again. Nothing. By about the fourth time I'm going to this meeting, I'm like, God, I know you are able. I know you are good. That is, you've changed my life. My faith will never be the same. Neither will my tooth. It's amazing. maybe the singular most faith-building thing to happen to me in my entire life. But I just couldn't get the other one done. I couldn't, even the way I'm talking about it now, I couldn't get it done. The Lord was choosing not to get the other tooth done in the way that he did the first one. And I'm like in anguish almost. I'm like, Lord, why? Why? What am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do? What am I missing? I'm really in it, really, really in it at this meeting, fourth or fifth time there. I'm just, my eyes closed. I keep sticking my finger up there. I'm like, come on. And they, they're doing healing sort of times in the service again. Same guy, same crowd, same everything. I'm like, what in the world, God? What is it? What do you want from me? Not that my actions can make you do something. Not that you're holding back your love because I'm not praying hard enough, something like that. I mean, those are the things we always try to figure out about ourselves. That's part of our imperfect faith. We forget about the sovereignty of God. We forget that it's, it's not our deeds. It's not what we do. I was literally just sitting there and go, God, what do you want me to do? What is this? And I swear to you, I hear almost an audible voice. Almost. And I heard the Lord say, go to the dentist. It was just the strangest thing. God, you'd fix this one tooth. What do you want? I got this other one. Come on. The other half of the mirror. Let's go. I know you can do it. Why don't you do it? What do you want me to do? I want you to go to the dentist and get your tooth fixed. It is one of the greatest, most mysterious experiences of my life. It is still a mystery to me. I can do nothing but laugh about it. I can do nothing but laugh, and I can do nothing but tell the story. Because I don't even fully know what the lesson is. I don't think in one sentence I could give you the lesson that the Lord taught me about this. He did the most amazing thing that ever happened. Tooth, brand new tooth. Holy smokes, right there. I felt it with my finger in the tooth. Snap, crackle, pop. Amazing. Left the other one. For weeks, I was sitting there going, okay, why? Why isn't this happening? Why isn't God doing this? What did I do? What did I not do? I mean, there was points where I was like, I was going to trying to sit in the same chair. Getting to the meeting, hoping that nobody was sitting in the chair that I was sitting in when it happened the first time. I was trying to figure out what song was playing. I was trying to recreate this thing as if I recreated the situation, that God would then be like, yes, thank you. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted you to do, was to sit in the same chair and sing the same song and do the same. Okay, here's your other miracle. I mean, it kind of sounds a little bit like the situation Amos was talking about with the Israelites there. But again, even the miracle, I mean, it was a miracle. It's hard to explain. And anybody who's had this experience, I'm sure you're nodding along with me. It was as if it were an audible voice saying, go to the dentist. Can you imagine a clearer instruction from God, the King of the universe? It was so funny. So I did. So I went to the dentist. I made a dentist appointment. And I got it fixed. And the dentist in there, the dentist was a little confused. Because, they have the records. They had my x-rays from last time and stuff. They didn't make a big deal about it. But there's definitely I don't remember them making a big deal about it, but you know, and maybe they did. I don't remember. Uh, but yeah, I went to the dentist and I got it fixed, and it was fixed. And I had two great teeth. I had one tooth that God made, and I had another tooth that the dentist tried his best at, and that was fine. So again, I don't know exactly what the lesson that I am to take from that, except for it is something that has stuck with me and is such an integral part of my faith and such an integral part of my relationship with God and such an integral part of, especially in times like this in the past 6 months where life is falling apart, things are as crazy as they've ever been. I have no way of really understanding with my human mind why anything is happening. I It is purely a practice in the sovereignty of God and the endurance. And the only answer to my troubles, my suffering, is to draw closer to God. If I'm doing anything else and not drawing closer to God because of my suffering, then I'm doing it wrong. That is something that, from the most pious, godliest people throughout history down to whatever the most sort of pedestrian experience of life is, if in times of suffering or mystery or whatever, there's stop asking what you did wrong, stop asking what you're supposed to do, stop asking how to get God to solve your problems, stop asking those questions. The only right answer is to draw closer and closer and closer to God. And that's what I did back then. And when I got close to God, the closest I could get at that time, I may have heard a literal voice of God's instruction to go to the dentist. And then I had both teeth fixed. It just happened in a weird way. Happened in a weirder way. So, I hope that means something to somebody. I hope any of this means anything to anybody. And yeah, let's get ready for both dental miracles. I mean, it's very relevant to the idea of dental prepping, It's very relevant to prepping in general. We're going to do our best to be prepared for whatever happens. A lot of different things could happen. We don't know exactly what will happen, but we do our best. We let God guide us. We prepare our hearts first, prepare our spirits. Then we prepare our minds with skills and knowledge and understanding. And then we prepare our bodies. Working out, baby, and having the resources that we might need to help us in a tough time. Get the food, get the water, get the stuff. But it does start with preparing your heart and preparing an emergency dental kit and watching some videos on how to glue a crown back on. And if God wants to be the great dentist in the sky when society collapses and continue to pop in once in a while and take care of all my dental problems, that's best case scenario. But if for some reason, some mysterious reason, the King of the universe does not miraculously restore every dental issue that I have, then I'll go to the dentist. And if there's no dentist, then I will become my own dentist. And if it is God's will that I defeat the dentist, the tooth reaper, the man who thrives and feeds off of fear and hangs the teeth of his enemies around his neck, who cried when he realized that he hath no more teeth to reap. If I hear the rumble of his motorcycle coming back over the horizon on his search, his quest to collect the teeth and feed on the fear of the last man in the bunker. Then hopefully somebody had shown up with some ballistic wampum. Because when the Teeth Reaper comes, you have two options. You can pay him with your teeth, or you can give him a little bit of that ballistic wampum. And let the Lord do the rest. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Basil's Bunker. We didn't have any call-ins today. I don't know if that was my fault or something, but that's okay. We're good. We're good on time. And of course, you can call in anytime in the future when we're doing the show. Go get on the newsletter over at canarycry.party. Jump on the newsletter there. Somebody mentioned earlier in the chat that they joined the newsletter, but they are not getting the newsletters. This is very possible because just like we're censored and shadow banned and tiny roomed on YouTube, possibly even Rumble, definitely X, definitely Facebook and Instagram, everywhere we are, the newsletter is often censored as well. Make sure to check your spam folder. Make sure to check your junk mail. If you do see one of them come in, make sure to hit the star it, or favorite it. In your email box, flag it. That's going to tell your email provider that you actually do want them. If you have a little bit more energy, you can straight up whitelist the email. And if you're having any more problems, send in. Just send me an email, canarycryradio@gmail.com. And thank you to the people who produce this show. Got a couple producers here. Thank you to Kenneth T. and Mrs. Tinfoil Hat Man. Anybody else who wants to produce this show, value for value. We don't do advertisements. We don't do affiliate codes. We don't take any money from corporations, commies, or cartels. We don't live by the same rules as the global theology, as the advertising industry, which in their minds, I am collecting a commodity called time and attention. That's you. Where I try to collect as much time and attention as possible. I get you to watch for as long as possible. I say whatever I need to say to keep you locked in, to keep you angry, whatever it is. And then that commodity, your time and attention, I sell to them by advertising for them. It's not how we do it here. It's value for val. Val for val. Value for value. We try to create as much value as possible. We try to do it as often as we can. And if we bring any value to your life, if Basil's Bunker brings any value to your life, consider putting value back in. And you can do that with your time, your talent, or your treasure. There's lots of ways to do it. You can volunteer to help with some of our back-end stuff, maybe help with social media, whatever. If you're a graphic artist, a musician, any sort of creative person, you can create stuff for the show. Art, music, jingles, etc. Or you can come in with your treasure. Right now, just go to canarycry.support. You can support there and send a little note after you support the show, and just let us know that your support was for Basil's Bunker. It's still going all to the general sort of account, but I just want to thank you on the right show that you want to be thanked for. So there you go. Getting real laid back here at the end of the show. A little low energy, but see, that's kind of part of the fun. Part of the fun of the solo shows is it's a little bit more, I don't know, it feels like there's a little bit less of a frantic need to fill every second of time. any pauses or spaces, consider those artfully placed pauses or spaces. Not that I planned them that way, but if you think of them like that, it'll make way more sense. All right, bunkaroos. Just scanning my notes, seeing if there's anything else. No, okay. We hit everything. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any emails or anything for people. All right, everybody. There you go. Thanks for listening to this episode of Basil's Bunker. Get to the bunker. Bunker up. Bunk it out. Bunkaroos. Bunky bunk. Do we have? We don't have an outro. Okay. All right. I gotta just. This is dangerous. It's kind of fun just to ramble and do nothing. But I remember what we do. I remember now. That's right. We feed the ducks. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna feed the ducks. Make sure to befriend any small animals. Make sure to befriend any large animals. Oh, good. That song was on the last 3 seconds when I started it. That's very helpful. Thank you. Yes. Make sure to make friends with some animals. Go out there, put together a dental emergency kit. Just start one. Just start a little one. Doesn't need to be, whatever. You don't need to start out by crafting your own dental cement with clove oil and zinc oxide powder. But if you do, give it a try. Let me know. I would like to try doing some videos on those things. We're going to need to beef up the resources a little bit if we're going to be able to do that. But that's just something to think about. Remember, always, 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 send me an email, canarycryradio@gmail.com. Send an email. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think. This one was a little bit different from the last one. We're still kind of experimenting with how things work here. Please, if you've never sent me an email, this show is entirely run on moral support right now, folks. So take 5 minutes. Let me know what you thought about the show. Give me any suggestions. Tell me stories. What's your experience? Do you have any topics you'd like me to cover? All of these things. The show runs on moral support. canarycryradio@gmail.com. And as of now, I am planning to be here next Friday. That's about it. Bunk it up, bunkaroos. Bunk it out. Bunky bunk.
In a world where survival is paramount and the wasteland throws its worst at you, only the strong can thrive. Introducing Emu energy drinks. With an apocalyptic powerhouse packed into every can, keeping you sharp, focused, and ready to tackle the wasteland with ease. An epic pick-me-up of haphazard chemicals, strong aftertaste, strange side effects, and unmatched rejuvenation. Emu energy drinks. Stay alert. Stay alive.
It's the bunker.
Basil's Bunker End Time Supply Subscription Service. Plans starting at just $17.76 a month. No hidden fees. Cancel anytime. 33-day money-back guarantee. Call now for a chance to win an attachable 6-finger. Perfect for plausible deniability and AI generations and for your secret Nephilim handshakes. Call now. 1-877-740-3226. Basil's Bunker is solely operated by the Razzle Dazzle Ranch. CCR, CCNT, and the Shimura Estate are not responsible for any claims or guarantees. Call now.
Welcome to Basil's Bunker, where we have many amenities in the advent of coming societal collapse. Bohemian Grove generators powered by Chinese lithium cobalt batteries. Anti-air defense systems rivaling the IDF Iron Dome. Endless end times food ration buckets. And recreational activities like emu wrangling or Monty pet training.
Whoops. Still here. Leaving. Bye.